Alright guys, what's up? It's Failrail, and today I'm going to be showing you a brand new guide on how to merchant in old school RS. Now this is going to be really simple and basic, and what I'm doing initially is I'm looking for an item to flip. So I start with the steel bars, I buy them for the soonest possible price, and then I try and sell them then for as low as possible. And what this does is it actually shows me what people are buying it at and what people are selling it at, and I can see if there's a gap, and if there is I can make the transition. So here you can see there's actually quite a good gap between the two considering the actual overall value of the steel bar. So I decide I'm going to buy like over 9,000 of this for the lower offer price, see if it actually buys, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, we can then sell it for the price that was listed just then. For the higher price, which will then obviously give us a profit. And this is the fundamentals of merchanting on RS. So I am currently a free player, and there's a lot of free players that just have no idea how to do this, and it's honestly so easy. Once you get the fundamentals down, it's incredibly basic. So the steel bars are actually buying very quickly. You can see that they're just about to complete now. There we go, and that honestly took about 2 minutes in actual real game time. I'm now going to try and throw them back in and see if we can make ourselves that nice profit we were looking for earlier. So again, try and match that price from before, and now we just have to wait. You can see that there you go, they've started selling. Other people in the marketplace are doing similar to what we're doing when we're testing, and you can actually see that on your own items sometimes, and that is an example right there. Next, we're going to continue looking with the other slot for other items to flip. So, we're making a note of the price of that, and then again selling it, try and sell it for to identify a margin. You can see there's actually really not a very good margin at all. Now you can see the steel bars are starting to sell straight away, which is really good news for us. Now we need to try and think of other items. I like to bulk merch, which is when you just buy items in a high volume and you take very small margins. It results in quick, easy profits. So we're going to try here now law runes, see how they go. So there's a sort of 4 GP margin between that, which could definitely work. So you think 10,000 done, that's 40k profit for very little work and very little time. So we're going to go and buy just under 10k of those. And the reason I do the 9995 is to avoid any trade limits, because I think for runes it's 10,000, and sometimes it's annoying if it's like 9999 and you're stuck waiting for that one rune. So and you can see there the law's bought incredibly quickly. So we're going to put them back in now for that market price, and the steel bars are coming through nicely. So I actually made a note of the profit I made on the bars, and it was 212k, just shy of 212k, which for a 5-minute flip on a free play world, you're going to get a lot of players working for hours for that sort of money. So it just shows you what you can make when you've got a couple of mil in your bank. Now, I do this with lots of different items, and in this video I'm going to be showing you some other items that I like to flip. Steel bars are generally very good. All those sort of more high-level basic runes, such as law runes, nature runes, cosmic runes, they can work very well. You can see now I'm going to try grapes, see if I can turn a profit on those. Grapes can be really good because they're sort of a bulk, high-value item. A lot of people that train cooking like to use them, and I mean today there's not a very good margin, but normally you can get say like a 6-7 GP margin. So you flip 10k of them, 70k profit for 5 minutes work. Okay, which is good. Adior's another really good option because it's quite a higher value item. If you've got a bit more of a cash stat, you can really leverage this, and generally the margins can be quite good. Again today not very good, it's a funny day. So mithril bars, again another really good item. I do them quite a lot, but let's see, I don't think I bothered doing them now. I didn't. Again, that very tight margin, too tight to wait for 5 minutes when you can make maybe triple that sort of money. Addy bars are another really good item usually, but I think in this episode it wasn't too great. No. tight margin once again. But you know, obviously as a merchant, you can go for whichever items you like. You just have to make sure that they work enough to make you money. So death runes are a really good example of a solid rune that you can make good profits off. They're in high demand in members worlds and in free play worlds. Really, you know, quick to trade, stable and easy to flip. So yeah, this one is a goer. You can see there I've got a nice little margin of about 40k on the 10k we do. So we'll just throw in for 10k of those. Some of the laws are starting to sell now, which is good. And you can see now the deaths are already starting to come into our inventory. Obviously we're buying them for lower than market price, but yeah, still they come pretty swift. There you go, they're starting to come through now pretty quick. So all of this recording was done within about an hour. So, well, an hour or less of gameplay time. So it can give you a good idea of how many flips you can get through in a typical hour. You know, this is, you know, you don't even have to be on the game. You can, you know, be on it 5 minutes every 20 minutes, say, for example. And you can, you know, you can rack up some serious money. I've got a friend actually who I just met on the game, and I've been showing him like some simple tips and tricks on how to flip, as you can just see by there. He's been in the game for like a week, and I've already got him flipping coal with his cash stack, and he's been making some nice little profits. So there you go, you can see that was a nice 40k profit on the deaths, which is really good. And then it's all about, so I couldn't then do them again. The reason I keep changing items is because you can't, if you do 10k of death runes, you can't then just do 10k again, because you're going to hit your trade limit. So when you get sort of a decent amount of money, you have to always be considering the trade limit, because you don't want to be waiting for that, because 4 hours is a long time. And obviously if you keep rotating items, you can make a lot of money. So we're trying Mithril Ore now, see if there's a bit of a margin on that. There does appear to be a decent enough margin to you know, to make some money. So we're going to go ahead and try and buy 10k of those. So this is a good, like, sort of just typical working example of a day in the life of a flipper on the GE. So yeah. So I just went and grabbed a cup of tea, and I came back, and I wanted to then now check my items again. So all the Mithril Ore's bought, which is really good. We got it for a good price. So now let's just throw it back in for the price that we noted earlier. So 170. And again, now we wait. The lore runes are coming through. I did actually have to drop the lore runes down by 1 GP, so it's going to be a 30k profit on those, or 35k profit. Just because they were taking a little bit of time, and I wanted to show other items that we can do. Clearly the items I'm doing here are not always the right, and honestly every day it varies. Some items can be incredible one day, and the next day you can just make no money on them, so you just have to be a little careful with that. I tend to avoid like treasure trail items and things. I know some people it's kind of like their bread and butter to flip, you know, rare items and stuff like that, but it just takes so long, and you know, it's so slow sort of flipping. It can be quite boring as well. The only time I'd really suggest doing it is if you literally log in like once a day. It might be quite useful to make, you know, at least 400, 500, 600k for no effort. But if you're on the game and you want to, you know, get stuck into flipping, you can easily make over $1 mil a day, whether you're a member or a free player, even if you've only got a couple of mil in your inventory. It's not hard at all. So they're just coming through now, the laws, just to finish up. So that's a nice 40k, 35k profit for, again, very little time, very little effort. So I've been flipping for, I don't know, maybe for like, honestly, like 5 years. This account's level 46. It's a bit of a noob, but to be honest, I just kind of wanted to do like a refresh account, and yeah. So next time we're going to look at is rubies. So rubies and any of these sort of emeralds can be really good money. I don't know why, but I accidentally cancelled my my ore trade. That was a bit awkward. Yeah, so anything like sort of these gems can be actually really good to flip, and I would strongly suggest you check them on a daily basis, because you can find some really good margins on these. You know, I mean, it's unheard of. I mean, some days I can make 400k off just a couple of gems I know it's a little nice margin on. So really worth doing. Just setting the price now, and there we go. More trade setup. You could also see I'm doing emeralds there, and I only did a couple of them, like 2k, and made about 40k, but you know, it's all profit really. So again, I just went onto YouTube for 10 minutes, I came back, and now I'm just going to check, and you can see we sold all those, so that's 40k off the Mithril ore, and yeah, some of the emerald sold, which is obviously separate to this video. Just sort of highlighting the profit that was made there. I will tally up all the profit made in this video, and I'll just sort of put it at the end so you can see roughly what I made in under an hour of trading. So that's really good, and it's really good that the rubies have sold. I managed to get almost all of them, which is really good, because you can see they've got a nice margin, so that's going to be a strong profit. So now we just add them in and wait. Hopefully those other rubies buy quickly so we can put a new trade in, but yeah, we'll have to see. Right, a couple of minutes have gone by and I'm back again, and let's just see how it's moving forward now. So we've now got all our rubies, which is great, and a load of sold, which is really good. So that's like over 100k profit right there, you know, really no effort at all. So I'm going to add those ones in as well. I don't want to cancel the original because they're obviously in the flow of trade, so yeah, sometimes it's worth just holding. So we're going to come back shortly and see how they sold. Okay, so I did actually have to drop them down a little bit further to sell the remaining 2,000. Still within the hour of gameplay time though, which is really good. So you see we got just under 13 mil, which probably doesn't mean much because you didn't know what the original stack was. But just to show you a little sort of summary here of the trades that took place, so you can see that the steel bars, we made about 212k off those. We had the law runes, which we made 32k off the law runes. The death runes, we made 40k off those. The ores, the mithril ore, we made 40k off those as well. And then finally the rubies, in total we made 155k profit on that as well. So overall profit for the actual video in less than an hour of gameplay as a free player was 478k. So just under half a mil in less than an hour of gameplay time, which is obviously incredibly good. But yeah, thank you for watching guys, and I'll see you all later.